what would you kind of categorize your leadership style as?
I'm that guy that'll be there till midnight with you,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm the guy that'll be there at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
You know, the golden rule: do unto others as you want others to do unto you.
Right.
And I feel like just following those rules, or I feel like everybody on my team would follow me into a ring of fire.
All right, guys, welcome back to Breaking Barriers. I am super pumped today. If you're a car person, if you just even like your windows tinted.
If you're from this area.
If you're from Jersey, most people, we have people that listen to this in 109 countries, right? So if somebody out there doesn't like cars, doesn't know cars, this is not the one for you, right? But if you like business and you like, actually, Mike, the one thing I like about Mike, husband, father, crazy entrepreneur, brain doesn't stop, always going, massive action guy. That's the stuff I love about you. But and you are a partner in Auto Image.
Yes.
And and obviously I think one of the biggest things that's cool about this is like Auto Image, for most people who don't know this, obviously started super small, right? From a guy who's young, 17, 18, 19, first window tinter in Jersey.
It was a long 1987.
1987. First
I was
window
2 years
tinter.
old.
Right. and fast forward, now it's one of the biggest and well respected. You guys are doing Mitchell Robinson's trucks, like you do crazy shit. So Mike, Tomei, thank you so much for being here, dude.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah. And so for people out there that don't know you, obviously I try to give you the best intro I could, but like for somebody who doesn't know you, what do you think the best introduction for you would be?
Best introduction for me?
Yeah. Like if your wife was at a party and she was like, and like she's explaining who you are, what would she say, you think?
Just an animal. I just don't stop.
You're just
That's
a mover.
Me. I'm just a mover.
Where do you get that from?
Just my upbringing. That's from a young man, born in a smaller town in Jersey. Keyport is where I grew up.
Oh, you were in Keyport?
Yeah, little town. Didn't grow up super wealthy. And it's funny as I just think about my life, entrepreneur, all those things from being young developed into who I am now.
Right.
So that never stopped, that always making things happen. Sorry. That comes from being a child and not having a lot and always having to make things happen.
I love it.
So from a young man to an old man.
Was there anybody who like in your life growing up that like was like a big like inspiration that you think gave you this drive, or was it just a result of your upbringing that made you like this much of a animal?
There's a few influential people in my life. Somebody that was near and dear to me, my grandmother. My grandmother was like one of the first women on Wall Street. She was a business owner. She never, ever stopped. So just, being with her a lot when I was growing up was a big influence on me.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. What was her name?
Eleanor.
Oh, that's a fucking classic name.
I love that name. If I have a daughter, that's going to be her name.
Wow.
I love it.
What I love about that name, Eleanor? It's such like a firm... Eleanor Roosevelt obviously reminds me of it, but it's a power name.
It is.
It's a power name. Shout out to Eleanor. But so isn't it crazy though, dude, when you think about like our upbringings and stuff, like how, you being a product of your environment and seeing like your grandma, what did she do?
My grandmother?
Yeah, you said she had a business or something?
Oh yeah. So I wasn't even born, but my grandmother in Hazlitt in the Airport Plaza, she had a diner, Ellie's Landing Lunch, forever.
Get the hell out of here.
And she was just always, she was never too tired for me. I remember her being old and like we're racing down the street together. Like she never ever stopped. Until the day she passed away, she was always moving, always grooving. And the things she always told me when I always thought I knew it all, her famous words were, "Michael, you have a lot of macaroni to eat," because she knew I love macaroni. And that was her way of telling me like, you don't know it all and you got a lot to learn always. Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah, no,
let's go, Eleanor, Grandma Eleanor.
But that was always her way of telling me.
That's great, man. Now, how did you get involved in Auto Image?
I was young. So, my journey in this industry started, I think I was 17 years old. I graduated high school. After graduating high school, I couldn't really tell you that I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Right.
I was sitting in the kitchen with my mom and my stepfather, and I was just thinking about a job, like what is something I can do, going to Ocean County College, because that's just what you thought you did after high school.
Yeah.
And he's like, why don't you just go work on cars? So I started at Circuit City when I was younger, just breaking everything I could.
Which one was that at?
You know where the Target is in Brick?
Yeah.
So the PC Richards next door?
Yes.
That was Circuit City.
Yes, I remember. That's what I was asking. That's the only one I know.
Yeah, that's where I started.
Wow.
I worked there for a couple years, and then I ended up, as I progressed in the industry, I moved on to auto mix. I thought it was a much better place to, grow in my career.
Did you like meet Mark offset, or was it like something?
No, I just walked in there one day, wanted to, be a sales guy because I thought I could sell anything to anybody. And I actually had just a background in installation, like I can put stuff in cars. Got a job. I only met Mark, through the, he would come in and out. I couldn't say that I was
because at that point he wasn't like there every day, I guess.
He was there, but I couldn't tell you that. Dude, I was 19, 20 years old. Like,
okay.
I was.
You were just there, doing your thing, and leaving.
Yeah, I was sarcastic. Like I was always talking shit. Like I was the guy who like people loved, but as like a business owner, you coming in like, oh, this kid's just a smart ass.
Right.
Like I couldn't tell you he took to me right away. He would joke with me.
Yeah.
But it took a little while for me to grow on him.
So now you're there, right? And obviously you're a partner now. When did that opportunity like kind of present itself to you? Like, were you how did that happen?
So my story will probably resonate
Yeah.
with a lot of people. I went from, an entrepreneur with an entrepreneur spirit.
Yeah.
I consider myself a true entrepreneur now.
What's the difference for people that are like, I don't understand the difference?
Entrepreneur is somebody that works in a business and grows something.
Yep.
And an entrepreneur is somebody that
builds
it and goes.
Got it.
So
Yep.
I look at auto image, especially in this area, as my baby.
Yeah.
Right. So when I started there, store did okay. And a lot of the things that I was doing as I was coming up in this industry, when I look back at it now, they're all the things that they tell you to do as an entrepreneur to grow a business. Whether if I was out somewhere shaking somebody's hand, like I just became, the man at creating relationships, right? And as I created relationships and the store started doing good, I started spending a lot more time with, Mark.
Yep.
We really built an incredible business in Brick. COVID came around. He was very successful in another company. He was probably one of the largest T-Mobile dealers in the country.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When he exited that, he felt like it was time for him to retire. So I bought the business from him.
Okay.
After he retired, it's the classic, guy who never stopped and, potentially probably lost his mind.
Yep.
And the guy's my best friend, my mentor. We would always talk every day. And he was like, I think I want to do this again. Like we can build something really special.
Right.
And that's when we decided to, it's our own family business.
Yep.
He's family, his kids are my family. And, we all partner together to do what we're doing now.
That's beautiful, bro. It's cool to see again, when I met you back, a couple years back, obviously when I was hitting my windows brick. But just knowing your story now though, like it resonates with me, and I think more people need to understand, like, if you are somebody who feels like you have that in you, right? Like, and you said entrepreneur, there are opportunities if you grind, right? Like most people will be like, well, this is not my company, I'm not going to go above and beyond, or like whatever. But I feel like since I met you, I don't know when that happened, but I remember the first time I think it came by you guys was
it was a long time ago. I think you had like a BMW or something like that.
Yeah, right. It was like 2013 or something.
A long time
crazy
ago.
shit,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
At that point, were you an owner at that point?
3/19/11. No, my son's 15. I think we're in. Was it 2020 is when I took ownership.
Okay. So you weren't then.
No.
Like we had a while, but
you
I always thought you owned that place. That's why, which is what I'm saying.
So to me, there's a lot of different things happen in my life that brought me to where I am today. But we talk all the time. There's a guy I listen to all the time, Andy Frisella, right?
Yeah, he's badass.
Andy Frisella, back in the day when he wasn't who he is today, his podcast was called the MF CEO. Right. And so I began that journey of self-improvement at a young age. But he made one comment or one part of his podcast that changed my life. And it was just being the CEO of yourself, right? So no matter what you did, whether you work for somebody or you're on your own, like you are the CEO of yourself. And I always considered myself my own business, right? So no matter what I did, whether if I was cleaning toilets, selling you something, like I was owning it,
right?
And I tell everybody the same thing, the harder you work, the luckier you get.
True.
You know, the harder you work, you know, you find yourself in the more rooms. And it just came to the point where, you know, it's funny because in this area, if you mention auto-image, even on our huge show, like most people associate me as auto-image because I just put everything into it and I cared about it like I owned it.
Right.
And as a person, as a business owner now, I look for people like me because those are the people who are going to take your business to the next level.
Facts. That's so facts, dude. And it's not easy to find them. It's very, very hard to find them.
It's very hard.
What do you think is like your biggest? So I'll kind of tee up the question a little bit better. So you and I kind of operate very similarly, where we're all about execution, not about the pursuit of perfection and stop progress. And I think I was on a podcast for this Harvard professor who has a podcast. And he said to me, he's like, John, you're the guy that gets the beach house but never enjoys the view.
Never. Not a chance.
And I'm like, and I sat there and I was like, you know, I don't know if like, I know that life is all about perspective. Like,
of course,
the way you see things, the way I see things, the way Chris see things, we all have different perspectives, right?
Absolutely.
But for me, like, if I'm sitting there, like, I literally, so I have a massage lady come to my house every week.
Sure.
Right? The first time I met her a couple years back, she was like about to put on spa music. And I'm like, no, like that's gonna drive me nuts. She's like, I put the TV on and I have like CNBC Squawk or like Sports Center, and she's like, you're supposed to be relaxing. And I'm like, if I just sit here and I'm not doing anything, I'll fucking like, I don't even know.
I can't do it.
I can't. So the good thing is with kids now, like I'm running around with them, I have fun with them, like I'm moving, I'm doing stuff, but also like I'm so tied to what I do.
Absolutely.
And so I want to ask you this question that he asked me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if auto image and any business related things were stripped away from you, right? Who's Mike?
The same guy.
Right. But doing what though, I'm saying?
Building a business.
Right. But I'm saying if you can't do that, right?
If can't build a business?
If that was taken away
from who is Mike Tomei outside of that?
Correct.
Oh, listen, man. I am first and foremost just a father.
Yeah.
You know, I love the shit out of my kids.
Yeah.
My kids are my undeniable why.
You have 2 boys, right?
2 boys, yeah. Parker's 15, Grayson's 7. They're the loves of my life.
Yep.
And everything I do is for them.
Right.
So if you were to ask me, you know, who I am outside of there, you know, it's being just a good person in life. You know, I believe in, you know, treating others the way you want them to treat you.
Right.
Pass it along to my kids and bringing up great human beings.
Yeah.
I love my kids.
They're everything, dude. Kids are everything.
Everything.
When they asked me that question though, detaching me from adapting social, because it's funny, a couple of years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, I had been like in this business, building this business longer in my life than I haven't.
Yes.
So it was like this time where I was like, damn, if I didn't have adapting or like
it's
what
tough.
I do, like I don't fucking know what I would do. I think
that drives me every day. It scares me actually. It scares the crap out of me.
You know?
Yeah.
Because like the craziness, as crazy as shit could be, like I enjoy the craziness.
I operate in chaos.
Yeah.
That's
like,
where I live.
Move shit forward, do things. And what I love about what you do, and I want to kind of dive into like your leadership style, is what I love about you is like anytime I've called you for anything, right? Like whether it's a T-shirt from Blazing Visual or hey, I need my McLaren PPF, you're always so on it. Like you're just like, all right, boom, connected with this person, like in 5 fucking seconds, right? Like you just move that way. Now on the back end though, right? How does like your team like operate around you, and like how like what would you kind of categorize your leadership style as?
So I thought about this.
Yeah.
I operate like that because that's just the way my mind works.
Right.
You know, young guy, ADD, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
You know, like that's, and we talk about, I think about that as my superpower.
Agreed.
You know, because where people don't move with urgency,
Yeah.
I move with extreme urgency. And like I said before, relationships mean everything to me. So when I want to help somebody or there's something I need to do,
Right.
I just get it done.
Right.
That's just what I do.
Yeah. But now, so like the reason why I asked that, right? Because
I'll answer your question. I apologize.
Yeah.
So, in business, I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. Right. On the front end of a business, I'm the guy you want. I'm just like you. I will shake every hand.
Right.
I will make every single deal. I love people. I love helping people. You know, I'm great with people. On the back end of the business, well, just like when you asked me why I don't have an office, I'm not that guy. Like I'm not doing, you know, paperwork.
Right.
I'm not writing SOPs.
Right.
You know, I'm the guy that's going to, you know, put out the fires, put the teams together, you know, lead a team.
Yep.
So over time, I had to accept that, you know, so as like an entrepreneur in a business, we want to do everything.
Right.
But, you know, you have to make that decision whether you want to have a job or you want to have a business. You know, so owning a business is where you can or cannot be there.
Yep.
So I surround myself with great people that are great at the things that I'm not great at. And that's how it works for me. You know, my leadership style is I'm the guy that's going to sweep the floors with you. I'm the guy that's going to take the trash out with you.
Right.
I'm the guy that'll tint that car with you. I'm that guy that'll be there till midnight with you, and I'm the guy that'll be there at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
You know, I treat everybody. You know, the golden rule: do unto others as you want others to do unto you.
Right.
And I feel like just following those rules, or you know, well, I feel like everybody on my team would follow me into a ring of fire.
That's fire, dude. I love that.
That's the truth.
And I could see that when I was at, you know, obviously the brick location and then Tinton Falls and just seeing everything and just like, you know, how everybody kind of moves around you and all that stuff like that.
They know that I'm crazy.
Yeah.
So they know. They know like, hey, you know, I come with some crazy stuff and when I need something, all my guys are there for me. If it's something that throws a, you know, wrench in their day, we got you. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Because they know that, you know, I'm always going to be there for them. No matter what it is, I'm going to help them with anything, personal, business, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I got their back. Yeah.
What I loved, so I don't know if you saw it, but your wife put up a comment or a fucking post recently just saying how hard you work when you're after the Elizabeth thing.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I was like super pumped about that for you, right, as a friend, because I'm like, dude, like there are like I've seen so many marriages crumble because of people operating like you and I do. And we're looked at as selfish.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and not prioritizing the right shit.
Of course.
And blah blah. Blah. And I'm sure I'm sure you know you hear it here and there.
Every day.
We always will, right?
Yeah,
we always will.
It's never gonna go away.
My wife supports the shit out of me, and she's the same. You know, she acts the same way that your wife does with that post. But we're still gonna hear it no matter what because we don't shut off.
No.
So, nonetheless, though, I saw that and I was like, dude, I love that because. You know, for anybody out there, whether it's a girl or the wife or the husband or the boyfriend or the girlfriend, whoever has that person in the relationship that is the entrepreneur.
Of course.
Right? Like you have to understand that you're not marrying a regular person.
No.
Right? You're not marrying a regular person.
No.
A regular person doesn't want to go to work, right? Or they enjoy work, but they want to get home, take their work boots off,
of course.
and then they're done
Forget
for
about
the day. You know, and then they're fully present and like, you know, XYZ. But you know, when you look at an entrepreneur, they can't turn off because again, like if, you know, I think the CEO of Intel a couple years back said this. He said only the paranoid survive.
That's it. It's the truth.
It's verbatim direct
It's
quote.
the truth.
He goes, only the paranoid survive. And I remember just thinking about it, like, and again, I'm sure at different phases of, you know, your companies and stuff in the auto image, it's like, you know, you're always looking at money, you're always looking at payroll, you're always looking at these different things, you know, and how you can optimize or how things can be better. And that doesn't stop, right? Because if you stop doing that, then there's a big problem.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I love that she put that out there, how hard you work and all that stuff. So my point for anybody that's listening to this is like, if you're with somebody who doesn't support you as an entrepreneur, whether you're a girl or a guy, like you got to know that's not going to change your marriage. It's going to get worse.
Of course.
Like on the onset, right? So
Absolutely.
You have to have somebody they got your back, and it's cool that obviously you have that support system too for you.
Biggest the best thing you could do for your life is, you know, find somebody, the right person,
Right.
that supports you. You know, Holly she's great. She works incredibly hard. She does hair, and she's always, you know, she's her own business.
Right.
You know, she pushes herself. She's always on social media, but you know, she gets it. You know, it's, you know, we've had like everybody else ups and downs, and she knows how much all this stuff means to me.
Of course.
It was a little bit tough for her first, but she's incredible with my kids. You know, I came home yesterday from work with my kids. I was on the phone till 8:30 at night, 9 o'clock, going through stuff. She made sure that they ate. She, you know, she's really, really, really good. And yeah, I tell everybody the same thing. The first question everybody was asking me is, you know, what's balance, and unfortunately, I don't think there isn't a balance.
Yeah.
You know, to me, if you want to be really successful at home, and I've said this a million times, you know, work is going to struggle.
Right.
If you want to be really successful at work, some points at home are going to struggle.
Yep.
You know, that's why as an entrepreneur, a business owner,
Right.
it's super important to find somebody who really supports you. And she's really great, honestly, God. She loves me. She loves my kids. She supports everything I do. She gets uncomfortable. She does a lot of different things, and she's great at letting me know she's there for me.
That's awesome. And on that note, though, so as it pertains to, you know, growth and struggling and stuff, has there been a moment, you know, throughout Auto Image where you're like, damn, like, this is fucking tough. Like I don't know how I'm going to get myself out of this?
Yeah. I mean,
And what did you do, essentially?
So when I first purchased Auto Image,
Yeah.
I was young, 29, 30 years old.
Right.
Kids, was in the process of, you know, moving,
Right.
like, and now I'm, you know, over $1 million in debt.
Right.
And I have, you know, 6 or 7 employees.
Right.
You know, like I went from, you know, running a business that I was like, I got this, to like, holy shit. Like this is real. Like, you know, nobody thinks
Yeah.
about that stuff. Like when you have to like pay people, and like not only like, let's just say this is a very small number, but let's just say your payroll is 4,000. Well, nobody thinks that it costs you an extra 4,000
Right.
to actually pay these people.
Correct.
Because there's taxes, there's all you know,
There's all
workman's
types of
comp.
fees.
Like there's things that I was sitting at home and I'm like, what the fuck did I do? You know, like, and that was. It was scary,
Yeah.
you know. So like when that happened, the only thing I did is what I did best, and it's just I went to work.
Got to work.
You know, I just got to work. I went and all my relationships I called on and made sure that I was doing as much as humanly possible. Got
Yep.
out there more, took on more. You know, I became an even better leader because it meant everything to me. So you know, I realized how important happy employees were.
Right.
You know, I went through a little bit of a transition where. Like maybe I always felt like I was a good guy, but maybe as a boss, you know, you let too much go on. I couldn't say I was a fan of the difficult conversations at first.
Yeah.
But once I got comfortable in my own skin, it just took off.
That's dude. First off, I'm glad you just brought that up. That's one of the hardest things for everybody listening. That's a newer leader. That's the hardest thing to do.
Oh my God.
Is to be able to like be comfortable in difficult conversations.
Oh yeah.
But to your point, once you do, because this is the problem when you're a new business owner or when you're younger and you have a smaller team, like you want to be liked.
Of course, that's everybody. Who doesn't want to
be the
liked?
cool boss?
Of course.
Right. But the cool boss typically doesn't get the results that he wants. It's the boss that's respected.
Yes.
Right.
Would you rather be loved or respected?
Respected.
Of course.
Right. And so at the end of the day, like when you look at Steve Jobs, right? People like fucking love that guy
or hate him.
Would die for that guy. Then you have employees that have worked with him. That guy was such a piece of shit, asshole. He was blah, blah, blah. But Steve, right? Similar to what you're saying and to how we operate, Steve didn't give a fuck about emotions or feelings. It was only about results.
Yeah.
And obviously innovation.
Yeah.
And so when you think about it, there was this documentary that the dude who was one of the guys in Catfish, he was the guy with the gray hair, the show Catfish.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He created this documentary around like the nutshell of it is like if you're a good leader, do you have to be an asshole? Right? And like what the balance is of that. Because most like, and he interviewed a bunch of like successful producers, directors, he interviewed business owners, and the result that he got to with interviewing all these really, really successful people is that you do have to be an asshole. But you're not an asshole intentionally. Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk off to you.
Yes.
You're going to perceive me as an asshole because I'm not going to care about your emotions
When
or
you come
feelings.
out the other side, you're going to be better.
Correct, right? Like when you have people that identify that you're going to push them to their peak performance, right? As a professional, right? And hopefully as a person. Some people don't want that, right? But those people don't belong in companies like ours, right?
Yep.
So it's like they get weeded out very quickly. But anyway, at the end of the day, it's like that's kind of that thing. It's a double-edged sword because you want to be liked in the beginning, and then eventually you don't care because you're like, yo, being liked means that like I'm not gonna confront you on areas that you need to fucking grow. Where do you see Auto Image going? What's the big vision and the grand vision for Auto Image?
Oh God, that gives me anxiety. Listen, man. Auto Image is a great company. Mark, his kids, they're great people. I came back into this because it is very long term. Like we talked about earlier, difference between having a job and a business. Being by myself, although was awesome and I learned an awful lot, and I'm thankful for that. Having partners that are great at a lot of different things really make my life a lot easier.
Right.
So our plan is, in this industry, take over the world.
Right.
We have 5 stores now. We want to open up another 9 next year.
Right.
And then go out of the state. But long term, we would love to have company owned, like our owners.
Yep.
And then we'd like to do a franchise type model.
Nice.
It's great.
Yeah.
And people don't realize the amount of money you can make.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. People care about their cars.
Second biggest investment people make.
Yeah. True.
And everybody wants to make it their own.
Right.
And that's what I love about it.
Yeah. Now, who's the coolest like celebrity, athlete, or somebody you've interacted with that you've over the years?
I couldn't really tell you that I deal with a lot of different people. We've worked on some different people's cars.
Yeah.
Somebody that I've heard you talk about. We've done a lot of work for Mitch from the Knicks, which is near and dear to my heart because I'm a diehard Knicks fan.
Yeah, let's go Knicks.
And again,
how did he meet you guys?
He works with my buddy Chris. My buddy
Okay.
Chris does Varn Build. So Chris will build trucks. The guy's crazy talent.
So he's the one that does Mitch's like fucking builds out.
Oh yeah. So
Damn.
I'll collaborate with Chris. We do a lot of different stuff. For Mitch, we'll do a lot of audio. We'll help with some wheels, tires. Like I help him with as much as I can.
Right.
And from the relationship that I've developed, people always have a perception of, people being one way. But after knowing Mitch, he's probably one of the kindest people.
Yeah.
You'll ever meet. Super heart of gold.
Yep.
Will do anything for anybody. And sometimes when you think big basketball player, there could be assholes. Just
Right. Ego.
Yeah, they're just the nicest guy you ever want to meet.
Yeah. That's
He
great.
really is.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That truck though is insane.
Yes, everything the guy does is
Insane.
crazy.
Yeah. Fucking insane.
His cars, his trucks, nothing's normal.
Right.
It's crazy.
So as we get to the end here, is there over the years? So I have 2 more things. Okay. Over the years, has there been any like adages or quotes that resonate with you as it pertains to like resilience and going through tough times and just like being persistent? It could be a Mike original or anything like that.
A quote?
Yeah, something that stands out to you.
A quote that I always think about. I told you would be being the CEO of yourself. The harder you work, the luckier you get. And the one thing I live by is just take action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any long, crazy quotes. Those
Yeah.
are just some things I say to myself.
Yeah, I love it. I asked that question. So when I first started the business when I was 17, I was looking for some sort of quote that I could put like next to my bed in my parents' house.
Okay, smart.
And I found it. And to this day, it's like my life quote. And I have it in every office I've ever had. But it's live a few years of your life like most people won't.
Okay.
So you can live the rest of your life like most people can't.
Absolutely.
And so I apply that to everything, right? So
Smart.
when I'm going through tough shit, I'm like, all right, I gotta keep pushing, right? Like you're gonna struggle before you truly emerge.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So you have to go through that's about your health, mental health, physical,
Absolutely.
business, personal. Last thing I'll say though, you said something earlier about like, is there a balance? And I'll never forget this. Before I had kids, my wife and I had some trouble having kids. It took us about 3.5, 4 years to have children. And I remember when we first started, and I didn't know it was gonna take so long. I was like asking all of my mentors at the time. I was like, one of my good friends. He's like, at the time, he was on track to be a billionaire. Now he is a billionaire.
That's awesome.
And I was like, dude, like, how do I find? I never see my wife now. If I have kids, I'm definitely never gonna see them. Like, how do you balance it? Because growing up, my dad wasn't always like around. So I was like, I can't do that. I got to be there.
Same way.
And he's like, there is no balance, man. He's like, there is no balance, right? So fast forward, I asked like 3 or 4 people that were successful that I trusted, and they all said the same thing pretty much. Then I had a conversation with my executive coach at the time, and he was like, well, why are you prescribing to their reality, right? And I'm like, because they're successful and they know what it takes to build. And anyway, long story short, like we kind of came up with our own framework, which is like, it's not about balance, it's about harmony, right? So an integration, right? So as an example, like, you know, I would always be pinned down to being in the office where like, as I started to have kids, I was like, all right, well, like I'm going to go on a vacation as an example, and I'll just work at the vacation, right? I'll do shit at the vacation. Like I'm not going to not go,
Of course.
right? But I'll get some shit done while I'm there, right?
Yeah.
And that's integrating it into my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, my kids are getting a little bit older now. I have a 3-year-old and twin 2-year-olds.
It's crazy.
So, but like, you know, as they're getting a little bit older now and be able to do stuff, you know, like they can come chill in the office and hang a little bit sometimes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just think at the end of the day, it's like, it's integrating it versus separation. You know, I think a lot of times, like I saw, who was it? Dean was there, right? I think, was it Dean? No. Who's the COO?
Oh, Dave.
Dave, thank you.
Yeah.
He was there with his son.
Yeah.
Right, going checking the cars out. We
Yeah,
met
of course.
him.
Yeah.
His son's a good kid. We're talking and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you know, he's showing up for work. He's showing up, supporting, but also he's bringing his kid, right?
Yeah,
and
of
obviously,
course.
you'd want to bring your
Of
son
course,
to
yeah.
a car show, by
Yeah.
the way. But nonetheless, I just feel like that type of stuff is how you try. That's how you get both.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Because it's not the world where it's like, where we used to live, where it's like you're just gone and like you're never home ever.
No.
Right? And your kids don't see you and you like are like that guy like on a TV screen, like, hey kids, how are you? Like,
Yeah, no.
They're there, right? So you can make that effort, you can make it happen. And last question for you, and this is a little more difficult one.
Okay.
No quotes, more of like a situation. So, when you are not here anymore in the future,
Sure.
right? And it's just your kids and their kids. What do you want your legacy to be? Like, how do you want your kids to remember you by, and how they explain to their grandkids how, Papa Mike was? Like, what do you want them to say that will give the best depiction of who you were to them in their life?
Papa Mike, when they're floating around in their giant pool in their beautiful home and they're able to do everything that they want to do with their children, they're going to remember me as somebody who loved them dearly, and, went to war to make sure that our family lived a great life. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah.
That they're to build them a life where they can all just be as happy as they can be.
Right.
And just a loving, caring, hardworking man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, dude.
That's what matters to me.
That's
and
deep.
They're all that is all I care about. That's
Right.
what I want my legacy. I don't want it to be, Dad was some crazy guy who just did all this stuff. Like, Dad was there. Dad did everything he could. Papa Mike made sure that we had all this and we're all going to be okay. Like that. That's what matters to me.
Right.
And that will be my legacy. Not he wasn't around. He was always there. And that's the difference between, having a business, having a job, and building an actual business so you can find that harmony. And that was the most important to me.
I love that. I really do. Thank you for sharing that. And you just sparked a quick last thought. So when I was talking to Mark at the car show, we're sitting there and he's showing me his ex-wife's McLaren.
Yeah.
Is it the 720 or
750? Yeah.
750. So we're looking at it, we're talking, and he was just kind of like going a little bit about it, and he goes, my kids aren't getting $1 of mine. He's like, not one penny. He goes, they know it too. He goes, you're not getting one red cent from me. He goes, they will have the businesses that they can work and build their own shit. He goes, but every last dollar will go in my fucking casket. He goes, they're not having a fucking dollar from me.
We were just talking about that before. A little before when I was outside.
Were you?
That's what we were just talking about.
Literally?
It's no bullshit.
No shit.
He listen. He's not kidding.
No, I believe him.
He's not kidding. Nicest guy you'll ever meet in your life. He's done more for people than you'd ever imagine.
Yep.
Meeting him, you would never guess that he has what he has.
Agreed.
Not
Agreed.
ever.
Ever.
Would you think that he has what he has?
Never, ever.
I love you if you're watching this. I don't.
Yep.
No disrespect.
Yep.
But he refused, and I've known Mark's kids are 20, Kyle's 27 maybe, and he's the oldest. They all work really hard, man.
Yeah.
And that's something that he was always adamant about.
Right.
He never wanted children that were just handed everything in life. Are they going to always be okay? Sure. Did he set them up proper? Sure.
Right.
But it's not like, here's this, leave me alone. Like,
Right.
Kyle's at work every day. From dusk till dawn, that kid's working. Ryan, his other son, very intelligent. He works on the back end of our business.
Yep.
He does all the things that I would never want to do.
Right.
Mark still to this day, he's on the phone more than he ever want to be. His one daughter has a great career. His youngest daughter, Marley, still going to school, comes to work with us.
Yep.
She follows up on leads and stuff in one of our stores. So, he was never a guy that just wanted to raise kids that just take whatever. We're putting something together so they earn their way in life. And that's, that's the way I want it to.
Yeah, dude. That's why I brought it up, because I think it's such a good mindset and it's such a good thing for kids. It's weird because like when I think about the drive that you have, right, and I think about the drive that I have this conversation constantly with entrepreneurs, where I'm like, dude, there's that cycle that's like, weak men create hard times.
Yeah, hard times.
And then their next generation creates, those hard times, which create stronger men. And the stronger men create that. It's a cycle, right?
Absolutely.
And it's like, well, how do you make sure your kids are good? And it's like that whole like analogy of like teaching them to fish versus just giving them the fish.
Of course, my son's working right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story, and he won't be upset about it. My brother lives further south. He lives in Tuckerton.
Okay.
My son lives with his mom most of the time.
Yeah.
Split up, but he was with her, and my brother went to pick him up for work yesterday.
Yeah.
Right, and my son didn't get up on time.
Mm.
So when I called, he didn't answer. I called his mom. She was like, "He's upstairs. What time is it?" So I called my brother. I said, "Get the fuck out of his driveway right now. Go."
Yeah.
My son called me immediately. Dad. Bro, what do you think this is, man?
Right.
Your uncle went and did something for you. He leaves 20 minutes early to come get you.
Yeah.
That's so disrespectful.
Right.
Have the respect to do right by your uncle.
Yeah.
Have the respect when you're coming to work, you're on time, you're there before everybody else, and you leave after everybody else.
Right.
The expectation from me is not you're my son and it's just all fun and games. My expectation of you is you're going to work harder than everybody else because that's what I had to do.
Right.
And they know you're my son.
Right.
And they maybe expect you to be a little lazy. At 15 years old, I'm giving them a little bit of a hard time.
Sure.
But that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the same thing. I just don't want him to ever think like, oh, it's whatever.
Right.
Like his mom could have brought him to work, but that's not the point.
Right.
You want to create that work ethic, whatever it is he does, whether he comes on to AutoMage and takes over this empire with Mark's grandkid, whatever it is, he's going to do things the right way.
Right.
And that's
and you have to learn through those types of things.
Oh, yeah.
That was badass.
It broke my heart.
Dude,
it broke my heart.
I know.
It broke my heart. I'm like, oh, but inside I'm like, dude, he has to learn this lesson.
Yeah.
What time do you think he was? He was with me last night.
Right.
What time do you think he was up today?
Probably an hour.
Ass crack of dawn.
Yes, an hour.
Yeah, he was up before Jesus. He was wide awake. I was at the gym. Dad, where are you? I'm like, I'm at the gym, dude. It's 7 a.m. He's like, okay, I'm going to work today, right? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And the first thing he said, I learned my lesson.
Right. Now, is he at AutoImage too?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool,
yeah.
cool.
So, he does this is his second year. All summer. He loves riding dirt bikes and stuff. But,
Good.
As he got a little older, it turned off. Like you got to pay your way. So he, buys his own gas. He changes his own oil.
Right.
He buys, anything he wants, he buys. He knows he's getting a car. Our deal is however much money you have saved, dude, Daddy will match it. If you have $10, you're gonna have $20.
Right.
If you save 10 grand, God bless you. I'll give you another 10 grand.
Right.
But he's gonna, he knows he has to earn his way.
That's awesome. All right, where can people find you? If they're watching this, they're like, all right, I want my car tricked out. Also, give them the rundown. If somebody's watching this, like, what is AutoImage? Give us a rundown real quick.
AutoImage is everything and anything aftermarket. Whether you want to, lift your truck, lower your car, rims, tires, window tint, audio, custom fabrication. I mean, anything you can do to your car aftermarket. I'm your guy.
That's awesome. I sent you that thing though. I definitely, when I saw the inside of that one, I think it was Mitch's one car with the orange everywhere. Remember, I was like,
oh, yeah.
This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What does something like that go for?
I have no idea. So an interior like that,
Yeah.
we work
Probably
with this.
crazy.
Yes.
I mean,
You know how much
it
man
looks
hours that
fabulous.
is? You know how
I
much
can
man
only
hours that is?
imagine. I can
This
only
guy,
imagine.
there's a guy we deal with. His name's Rick. I call him Pretty Ricky.
I love that.
So he runs a place. It's called Swift Stitch. He's actually out of Florida.
Oh shit!
He does an incredible job. But I mean, the time that goes in,
I
dude,
can only imagine.
the time that goes into that is crazy. I mean, the whole dash comes out of the car.
Wow.
You know, door panels, like
Fuck.
every single thing that you see
Yeah.
comes out of the car, and he has to lay it all. I would never want to do that. I'm too instant. I need to.
I need it now.
Things need to get done. I need to feel good about it. But there's a lot of work that goes into that stuff, man. I mean,
Yeah.
those builds are just an enormous amount of money, and it's crazy.
By the way, I also forgot to ask you this. You have a nice Lambo.
Yeah.
So what was it like getting that for your first time? Like, give me like the background on that. Like, were you like, all right, fucking kids, we're going to buy. We're like, it's gonna be a cool day for your kids. Like, talk to me real quickly about that, because that's most people's dream car. That's like a good flex, and that's what I love about you too, because you're humble.
I'm super humble. Look, you know, my first car that I actually bought that I like really loved or I thought was cool. I bought a newer body style Acura NSX,
Dude, those are fucking cool.
and I thought it was just the coolest thing ever because you never seen them anywhere.
No, they're never anywhere.
And they were way ahead of their time. It was part electric, part motor, and it was crazy. And I sold it because people kept asking me how I liked my Corvette, and I just couldn't do that anymore. The Lambo was more of like a purchase through the business, right? Like we knew where we were going, we knew what we were doing.
Right.
We knew the kind of crowd that was going to come around, whether we wanted to or not.
And see it in the showroom.
Yeah, so that was more of a calculated thing. Is having the Lambo awesome? Yeah, dude. Like I'm going to tell you this right now.
Yeah.
I was driving home from that show the other day.
Yeah.
With my son with the top down.
Yeah.
To drop him off at his house.
Mm-hmm.
I had a moment where I just like you take it in,
Yeah.
instead of being the house on the water where you never get to enjoy it. I'm driving. I'm looking at my son. And I'm just like, dude, I remember being in the car with my dad or my mom. We had a little piece of crap like a Nissan Stanza back in the day, or a Nissan Sentra, and I would drive by homes and we drive by things. And I came from really not much. We had a tiny house, and I'm like, how the fuck do people do this?
Right.
Like, how could you ever? How did they get there?
Right.
And now I'm driving my son home in a fucking Lamborghini. Like to me, that was the lifetime dream always. Like a Lamborghini, like that's everybody's dream car as they're coming up.
For sure.
But it's just all of it's awesome.
That's badass, dude. Yeah, it's really cool. I had that experience when I first started adapting social, my grandma Joni, she
I saw the picture of her in your office.
Oh yeah. So Grandma Joni, so Grandma Joni, she with my mom and my uncle and my aunt, my grandfather like wasn't supportive. They divorced and he didn't pay any alimony, so she had to work 3 jobs.
Wow.
To support them. And then when she finally retired, she came in to move with us, and so we lived in Brick. My mom still lives there, but they live in a ranch. It's a 3-bedroom ranch. And there was my mom, dad, grandma, 5 kids, and 2 dogs.
Holy crap.
So we were stacked. And anyway, so when I first had this idea, like I would talk to her about it all the time, and she was super supportive. And so when I picked up the McLaren, it was crazy to be in my childhood house, and in that car at a place where I started the business or had some of my most worst moments of my life. We had food stamps, a bunch of shit back then. And so when I picked her up, she was like, "What the hell is this? What the fuck is this?" And we went for a ride in it. And it was like, damn, like that was my moment with my grandma, where I was like,
that's awesome.
We ripped it, and it was like, damn, but I think ultimately, like, to your point, like that's those micro moments are bigger moments for people with ADHD and entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah.
Because we don't need to sit on a beach to always encapsulate that.
No, it's the little things.
It's those types of little things that add up for us, I feel like.
I still make my father's, I can't believe this, but my dad still lives in the house that we grew up in.
Oh, no shit.
Yes. I don't get it. But I bring my kids there.
Yeah.
Like we'll drive by and I'm like, this is where daddy lived.
Right.
And they're like, what? Like my son's bedroom is like half the size of the house.
Yeah.
So those, I constantly remind them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, dude, this generation. So, one of my friends, he has a kid, and they have the Netflix account where you watch the commercials.
Oh my God. Is that a thing still?
Yeah. So the kid's like, I think he's like 10 or 15 or wherever he is. And my buddy goes, dude, he goes, we're sitting there and he goes, we're watching Netflix with my kids. And he goes, my son looks at me and he goes, oh, I hate being poor. Because the commercials came on. And I'm like, dude, like this is the shit that they're saying this day? Like, really?
Dude, it's crazy.
Like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, honest to God, when you think about how old are you?
Me, I'm 34.
Okay. I mean, I'm a little over 40. But the way that, like, we grew up, like, I never had anything to keep me occupied. I thank God every day. Honest to God, I thank God every day that I grew up where I did. We lived on a dead-end street. Mm-hmm. Kids my age, I grew up with, like, we played outside.
Right.
We did all the dumb shit. We got in all the trouble. You know, and my older son is very much still like that. You know, he was always outside, always playing. But, dude, these kids, like, always need to be they would have never survived. Where you had a 30-minute sitcom we got to watch, but it was actually 12 minutes long because 18 minutes was commercials.
Facts. Dude, good point. And that's why, like, I feel like we grew up at that cusp where, like, I feel like the world peaked. Yeah. Because we had the only way you could be, like, essentially contacted or, like,
a house phone.
Right. You'd have to be at a house to be contacted. Like, you know, or if you want to do it on a computer, you're like in the middle of your family's living room or kitchen or wherever the hell you were on the family computer, right? Fucking Windows 95 type shit. Yeah. And it was like, you know,
AOL came on. You can't even get on.
Correct.
I couldn't even call somebody.
No.
I don't beat my sister up for being on for iMessenger. I'm like, what is going on right now?
Like, I'm trying to get on the phone here. But anyway, dude, thank you so much for your time today.
I appreciate it.
I think time is one asset we don't get back. So you being here with me means the world to me. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm really pumped to see you continue to grow this business and the leaders that, you know, you and Mark and your team are with your staff and stuff. And the cool part about people like you is, like, when you say, like, I'm going to open up 9 stores, I don't ever doubt a single thing because I know how crazy you are.
We're going to do it.
And I know you're going to make it happen. It doesn't matter if somebody's, like, falling over or somebody's like, I don't know if we should do it. Like, I know you're going to be the driver, right, of making sure shit happens.
We're doing it.
And also, real quick, just give them the locations, just so for people to know where to find them, like where they are and stuff.
Route 18 in East Brunswick, Brick Township, 10 Chambers Bridge Road. We're in Seagirt on Washington Avenue. We are Tinton Falls on Stabro Lane, right off Wayside. I'm forgetting what we have. And then we just got another business. We're in the middle of remodeling. It's down on the White Horse Pike in Galloway.
Oh, cool.
That's our 5th location right now.
Very cool. And Seagirt, you're over in Seagirt too?
Yeah.
Where?
You know the main strip where, like, Rods and everything is?
Yeah.
So you know Little Dom's the pizza place?
Yeah.
And then there's Shore Pour?
Yeah.
We own that building, Shore Pour.
Oh, shit.
So Shore Pour, it used to be Evolution Auto Spa.
Yeah.
Now it's Auto Image. So I own that whole building.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
It's a crazy place. It's seasonal, but it's crazy.
What's wild, though, is because between those two, I mean, like, I got, like, where Tinton Falls is for me, it's like 12 minutes, 13 minutes. Yeah. And that's probably like 13 minutes, 14 minutes.
It's all just so you know, it's all by design.
Of course.
It's a hub and spoke build out.
Right.
Main hub that can support smaller stores.
Makes sense.
And that's how we're going to build it.
Makes sense. All right, dude. Thank you so much. And guys, we'll see you back next time.
Take care.
Thank you for watching The Breaking Barrier Show. Tune in on all podcast and streaming platforms.